This this is Nation Watch. Nation Watch is coming to you live from the Palm Tree Cinema Square in Wisma in the municipality of Linden in Region 10. I'm your host, Mervyn Williams. The usual broadcast time of 12 o'clock. We could not have kept that date with you today, unfortunately. The traffic situation on the east bank of the Demerara is ridiculous, ridiculous. And of course, we know that a lot of the Linden Highway is also in a complete mess. I am in Wismar in Linden, and I'm joined by the deputy mayor, a young man. He's south of 40, well south of 40, I may add, Dominic Blair. Dominic, welcome to Nation Watch. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, Mervyn. Thank you to your listening audience. I'm happy to be here this afternoon. I mean, it's a pleasure. I always watch this show on Sundays. I take my time from church. This is the show I listen to. And I'm just excited and happy to be here today to have a discussion.
Two sources of salvation, one divine and the other political. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah,
Dominic, you are a young man in politics. We are rushing towards an election. You are a national candidate for the APNU coalition. You have had your brushes with politics. You have campaigned for the municipal elections, the local government elections. Your party has demonstrated confidence in you. The people have demonstrated confidence in you, and you have been delivering service to your municipality. This is a step up for you. Talk to us about the transition, first of all, from being apolitical to getting into politics at the municipal level, and now to sort of get your feet wet, getting international politics.
a great question, Marvin. I would say it's a journey as a young entrepreneur, because I'm a businessman outside of politics, as a young entrepreneur, wanting to serve, passionate to serve. I I find it, I mean, exciting to help my people. To talk about the local government elections, I was just sitting on the sidelines and hearing the people concerns of Region 10, Linden to exact, and I decided to be the voice of the people of Linden. So I also look at things to help my community, my constituency. Um, Politics for me, going to the national level, Mervyn, it's something that I want to represent Linden now on a national level. I believe Linden needs national representation. I believe when we get into office in 2025, September 2nd, I believe that I want to push the agenda for my community, for my town, because our town has been marginalized over the last 5 years by this current administration. We talk about they talk about things like they like to talk about development, transformational project. In this region, not one single transformational project have been done within this region.
Let's start with what impacts the life of young people. The coalition government of
Yeah.
2015 2020
Mm.
put on the drawing board and commenced operations as far as the construction of an athletics track is concerned.
Yes.
This administration came into government, aborted that mission, and as we now get to the home stretch of elections, they're saying that they're going to complete it. Let's talk about the hypocrisy there, and then we move on to other areas of propagandistic releases from the People's Progressive Party as it relates to Linden.
Well, like you said, the synthetic trap was conceptualized by the coalition after we have seen the 2015 project. This current administration came into office and disregard the project. They've promised this to deliver this project in prior 2023 local government election. As of today, the facility is not up and running. So where is young people left to socialize? Because that project, that major infrastructure sits in one of the major constituency in Region 10. It sits between the Rizrock and the Block 22 area. Is a major infrastructure where young people could come socialize. And as you know, Linden is the talent basket of the Guyana.
There's where I want to go. Linden is the talent basket, particularly in the area of athletics.
Yes.
Yet the People's Progressive Party saw it fit to ignore the municipality of Linden and to focus on West Demerara, particularly the Leonora track. The Leonora track is situated right there next to the Atlantic, where the Atlantic breeze is an inhibitor to excelling when it comes to athletics. Talk to us a little bit about your views as it relates to taking the track to Leonora and ignoring Linden, which has always been bringing in all the medals at the national schools championships and international meets as well.
If I should, if I should add Mervyn, holistically, right? I think it's an attack on young people because outside of track and field, not one single sports facility is up and running within this community for young people to participate, socialize, and even to engage as youth, express their talent. So outside this track and field, it sends, look at the broader picture. They care less about young people. And it's something I'm passionate about because I can't imagine administration who talks a lot about they care about young people would marginalize young people, left them out for harm. Now, where as a youngster, I want to improve my track and field experience. I want to play soccer. I want to figure where could I go. It's left to go. They have moved shift the sporting activity to their compound, their PP compound. And this
In the municipality,
in Linden, yes, in Linden. And that's why I like our party's approach with the policy we put forward for track and field, where athletes now could have insurance, would be able to have a stipend. That's why the APNU is prepared to propose for young people. So that shows a difference between our administrators and their administration.
let's talk a little bit about the APNU approach to young people. There is going to be a revised national youth policy. We know that for 23 years under the People's Progressive Party, there was no such policy. We know that one was drafted and put in place between 2015 and 2020, virtually abandoned by
Yes,
this
for that.
government. I don't know if you can call them an administration. They're, but that apart, the APNU has some proposals for young people that speaks to promotion of sports, maintenance, and expansion of the cultural
Aspect.
and we're talking also about insurance for young athletes as opposed to just do you know that in this country when you're selected to represent this country internationally in athletics you have to wear the uniforms that were worn by the people who represented the country 2 and 3 years before. Do you know you have to get those dirty uniforms and take them home and wash them and make them wearable to go represent your country? Talk to us a little bit about the really horrible treatment of young people in that regard, Dominic, and some of the policies that the APNU will put in place following the September 1, 2025 elections.
I'm happy you had there, Marvin. Just yesterday, I had a conversation with Linden first Olympian, Orlando Tom. He was a swimmer. Orlando Tom was a swimmer. Orlando Tom is he's today, he's left without being recognized. In 2004, he went to the Olympic and served this country. Now, that could tell, speaking with Orlando, he feels neglected. And he said to me yesterday, he's he loved our policies. He loved the rent to own policies. He believed as a youngster when he was participating in swimming, he believed that he should have gotten a house lot.
And he
As
didn't?
he didn't get an house lot. He didn't even get a stipend to that effect of today that he could sense significant and he represented this country. What we find this administration has killed nationalism. And because they've killed nationalism, you see the result of what's happening to Orlando Tom. Orlando Tom should have been an idol, he should have gotten a house lot. He should have gotten an income. He should have been a scholarships. These are things should have gone to Orlando Tom because he represented this town, this country to the extent and was not given.
Well, you know that Terence Halley, who we familiarly call Terence Ali, helped to put this country on the world map in boxing, international boxing. He was a contender at the highest level um, in boxing. Unfortunately, he never won a world title, but he was the man who always wore the Guyana colors on his trunks. He was the only man at that level who always dedicated his fights to his country. Yet when Terence was finished with boxing and he came back home, he was ignored, neglected, entirely set aside, left to suffer, living in poverty. There is no system to capture our sportsmen and women. Do you see do you see a transformation in the sense that a new APNU government will take care of its people? Aubrey Norton, presidential candidate of the APNU and next president of Guyana, has made it clear that people come first. APNU
Yes.
will put you first. APNU has people in the center of all of its policies. Talk to us a bit about how we're going to change this this treatment of our citizens.
I must say we have a competent bunch. We have a competent bunch of people. We have a competent bunch of people, candidates, lawyers, Dexter Todd, Ronald Daniels. We have a competent bunch of people. I've known as a youngster sitting with the party and being a part of that planning to putting the people's first. And one thing I could attest to is that on the agenda, they have worked diligently in putting that manifesto together. And one of the things we talk about putting the people first, it's in right there in the statement, putting the people first. So when it comes to those athletes and those young people we're talking about holistically, they will be they will be looked after under our APNU government.
Presidential candidate Aubrey Norton has made it clear that among the other things that his government will do upon assumption of office following September 1, 2025 are as follows. One, the 50-50 plan, where,
Yes.
where 50,000 young people
Yes.
pursuing tertiary education will be identified and will be given $50,000 per month to support them in
Yes.
their academic endeavors.
Yes.
He has made it clear that there will be a national schools transportation system put in place to ensure that
Yes.
our children can get to school and it wouldn't be a
Yes.
financial or other burden on their parents.
Yes.
He has made it clear that there will be at least 2 hot meals per child every day in school. He has
Yes.
made it clear that uniforms will be provided for children going to school. These policies that speak to alleviating hardships for children and
Yes.
relieving financial burdens on their parents, while the focus is on lifting the standard of education and by extension the quality of life. This is coming to all of Guyana, but particularly Linden. How do you see it being received in the municipality of Linden, where you're currently deputy mayor?
Um, as deputy mayor, I engage directly with the people on the ground and the young people to be exact. Like I said, just like Orlando Tom I mentioned earlier, the young people are loving the policies. They see themselves. And to add, they're excited about the home ownership program,
Yes, the Red to Own
the
program,
rent to
among
own,
others. Yeah.
among others. Among others. They're so excited. And so come September 4th, I am sure that we will confident within this region, we'll be winning the youth vote at the next election.
It's Sunday, August 10th. We're preparing for a mega rally here in Wismar, in Linden. The stage is being set. The motorcade is on its way to Linden. Tens of vehicles, perhaps in excess of 100 vehicles, making their way up to Linden to come bringing support to this mega rally this Sunday evening in the municipality of Linden. And we have the pleasure of speaking with its deputy mayor, the deputy mayor of the municipality. Um, and we are being told about the developments that will come to Linden following September 1, 2025. Dominic, it's been a pleasure talking with you. I wish
Yes.
you well as we go forward, as you step forward into your political career further, higher.
Yes.
And I wish you all the best as you give of yourself in service to the people of Guyana. In closing, what are your expectations of the rally for this evening?
Good, great question, Mervyn. I'm so excited for today. The whole Linden been waiting for this day. It's August the 10th. We have our green T-shirt. We have our flags. We are ready this afternoon. So we see it is not only as a rally. We see it as a revolution today. We see a sense of fresh air within this community. So come this afternoon, you will see that masses will be out here in our green. Program starts, for those who listen, the program starts from 4 o'clock. Get out here early. Look, make sure, I know if you get a party and fire, don't worry, we got lots of food out here, everything. Just come out early. Mervyn, again, thanks for having me on this program. I'm so delighted to be here today. God bless your listening viewers. God bless you, and enjoy the rest of the day. Right now, I'm going to prepare for to have this revolution this afternoon.
Thank you very much, Dominic. Blair, Deputy Mayor of the municipality of Linden. We're going to be joined shortly by the Mayor of Linden, Mr. Shamor Rahim Solomon. He will be joining us now and we will be talking in greater detail about what's happening in Linden, what has happened, and what will happen in the municipality of Linden. It's August 10th, 2025. It's a few days before elections 2025. Elections are scheduled, that's national regional elections are scheduled Mayor of the municipality of Linden in Region 10. Welcome to Nation Watch, August 10th, 2025. It's rally, rally, rally. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me, Mervyn. Thank you very much for being. I'm excited to be on the program this afternoon. You're in the heart of Guyana, Linden is. Region 10, the heartland. And we are here just to ensure that we participate in this APNU road to victory, to ensure that we show and incorporate where Linden is into this national agenda of a people-centered government. I know that Linden is, we've had a lot that we've gone over the last 5 years. This is the rich economy of an island gas station. Linden has felt disconnected from that reality of an island gas station in so many ways. And we are looking forward to hearing from the leader of the APNU, Mr. Harvey Martin, our Prime Ministerial candidates, Mr. Finance, so that we can share with them our process message to understand. Come September 1st, what the September 7th is
Java, I believe, connected to Linden. Not because I pass away off old, but because one of the pioneers of Linden was my uncle. My uncle Pedro Gonzalez was one of the pioneers, boat captains in the bauxite industry, together with another cousin of his, Captain De Silva, who last lived at Northern Western when he died. These two seniors of my family were the pioneers, among the pioneers of the bauxite industry in Linden. And our close who are younger than us, they have known that the town of Linden was built up around the bauxite industry. And it is because of the nature of bauxite, the nature of the labor force and technical people required, that Linden was built to boom.
Bill, I'm glad that you give that respect to the bauxite generation. Linden is a bauxite mining town. And the bauxite generation did not only go for Linden, but a whole lot for Guyana. In terms of the skilled technical artisans, we've always been proud that we have been able to go out with that talent acquired from the industry and what Linden through the bauxite sector have provided for us to go out and tame the jungles of Guyana. So you can find in it many of
Check.
the,
Mic two,
the
two.
mining sector from Reunion
Some.
to Araima
Yes.
to
One, two,
Exxon. You'll
two.
find some of the most
Some.
technically skilled
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
from Linden. So
Absolutely.
One, two,
Linden have
some.
made its indelible contributions through the
Yo.
bauxite generation, but we know that there is so much more in store for Linden in terms of it being the heart of Guyana. And this is where this new council, APNU council, coming into local government elections, and we've aggregated the issues that will move Linden in that direction to understand now where do we expand manufacturing, agriculture, tourism, and so many sectors beyond bauxite mining to really see where Linden is going to be the heart of Guyana.
Let's talk about historical development versus current alleged development.
Mhm.
The Linden Highway was constructed in around 1968 and declared open 1969. That's 56 years ago.
Mhm. Mhm.
Prior to which access to Linden was only possible through the river you
Both,
see
yes,
behind us.
by RH
This is the
car.
Demerara
Mhm.
River, and the
Mhm.
RH car
Mhm.
transported a launch, transported folks from here, this very river, this Demerara River here, to Georgetown and back.
Mm.
But Forbes Burnham, the visionary leader that he was, established a 72-kilometer road,
Yes. Yes.
the Linden-Soesdyke Highway, which he declared open in 1969, like I
Yes.
said,
Yes.
and
56 years ago.
and which was constructed at the cost of 17 million United States dollars at a time when we were moving, as Dr. David Hines will say, from plantation to nation.
Mm.
A
Mm.
major transformation,
Massive.
a
Massive.
massive
Massive.
transformative step that is leading us to where we are, opening Linden as the artery to the hinterland. Talk to us, Sharma, about that historical
There is
perspective.
so much wisdom and philosophy in the Linden-Soesdyke Highway. And let me just recognize in the challenge to get access to the coastland, recognizing Linden is the largest intermediate tongue between the interland and the coastland, and just what potential having the means of infrastructural development can provide for such a coastland interland bridge. Now, to do that, you will need the sort of infrastructure. And one can remember when you had the launch that took people from Linden to Georgetown. We had even the unfortunate incident at one
Oh
situation
man.
where those were the only, or in fact, that was the only way to get to Georgetown. And you can understand how the advantage was taken, where politics and race resulted in over 40 lives being lost.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, I think in recognizing all of that, the wisdom of Linden, Forbes, Sampson, Burnham, in understanding where national development, where the development of ensuring that Guyana is open so that we can expand in terms of our resource development, ensure that we had 56 years ago the building of the Linden-Soesdyke Highway with the infrastructure in place to accommodate a Ford. That's the vision of Burnham, as I said, to link the coastline and the hinterland and know the type of commerce and development is to put in not only the infrastructure, but the future of infrastructure to accommodate. It is out disheartening this season of so much that we have, and the People's Progressive Party making the sort of nice of a rehabilitated Linden-Soesdyke Highway, building on the foundation of Forbes Burnham, but did not see the vision and the wisdom to even expand beyond Forbes Burnham. Now you have $161 million being spent to rehabilitate the same two-lane
But
highway.
what is interesting and flabbergasting
Mm,
is that the deliberate efforts that were taken to destroy the Linden-Soesdyke Highway,
mm, mm.
the absence of maintenance for 23 years did not shake its foundation.
Exactly.
And now Linden-Soesdyke Highway, the conduit from the hinterland to the coast, has been allowing the movement of timber and quarry supplies among other heavy cargo. Now you have a deliberate
Neglect.
movement
Mhm.
to destroy, because if you go from Yarokabra going beyond, you can see
The
where
total
the
destruction.
absolute destruction, and then they're going to claim that they built it. That's what they do. But let's talk a little bit about the vision of Aubrey Compton Norton,
Mm.
next president of Guyana, immediately following the elections of September 1,
Mhm.
2025.
Mhm.
Aubrey Norton has made it clear that one of his priorities is constructing a highway that will come to the people of this country.
I think, in Aubrey Compton Norton, what we find is a leader that is part of an institution that is rooted in national development beyond the scope of this administration and their appreciation. It is based on that foundation that was set by a Burnham government and based on the national development strategy coming out of that administration and even the Desmondite administration, that those foundational plans were in place. It is very encouraging that even after 28 of the 33 years that we saw the PPP, that we can see this particular matter of bridging not only the Kokwani River, the Berbice River in the
Mhm,
Kokwani area,
mhm,
but actually ensuring that we have the road network. This is a continuation of that national development policy and
mhm.
vision that the PNC, now promoted by the APNU, will ensure that is realized. And it's unfortunate that 28 of 33 years that the People's Progressive Party never saw the wisdom in fulfilling that which the Burnham government and the Hyde government had put forward in the National Development Strategy. And it is encouraging now to see, building on the institution, the foundation of the PNC, that Aubrey Compton Norton, in his manifesto and as a government, is prepared to see and have that realized, not only for the development of Region 10, but as part of Guyana's development.
Let's talk about the economic importance of Region 10 to the rest of the country. Region 10 connects Region 4, 5, and 6 going in one direction.
Mm.
And you can argue that it also connects Region 3 from that direction.
Yes, it does.
It connects Regions 7, 8,
Eight.
and 9
Mhm.
in another direction.
Yeah.
And of course, Region 3 also from that same direction.
Certainly.
There is capacity for connecting Region 1 as well.
Certainly.
And in that connect Region 2, Aubrey Compton Norton has said to this country, maybe not often enough, Comrade
Mhm.
Norton,
Mhm.
maybe not forcefully enough, Comrade Norton, you have told this nation that another of your priorities is inter-regional highways
Mm.
connecting all 10 of the administrative regions
Yeah.
of this country, and Linden in
Mm.
Region 10
Mhm. Mhm.
is the hub or will be the hub of that kind of
Yeah. Yep.
interconnectivity.
Yep.
Talk to us, Sharma.
Like I said, the leader of the APNU is rooted in a philosophy to understand where it is built on. And I think this is very important, Marvin, because we see newcomers, we see the establishment of manifestos, and we ask where these ideas are coming from. In our manifesto, it is rooted deeply in our ideological and philosophical approach to national development, but it is also built on an aggregated understanding of what is needed to transform Guyana. So on those two pillars, transforming Guyana is seeing Linden as the heart of Guyana that moves either 6 to 1% of materials from or through this region
Mhm.
comes from Linden or Region 10, natural resources. So it is only important that you have this sort of connectivity outside of the resource movement. You just made the point of just how accessible Region 10 is in terms come once we have that sort of highway connectivity that the leader and the party has always been promoting. And I think with an APNU government, persons can rest assured that those are the sort of advancement, especially not only for Linden, but national development that we can see.
Let's talk a little bit of Linden and the way it has been treated for first 23 and now 5 years by the People's Progressive Party, which says that it's going to win Linden in its wish list of um, unrealistic wishes. We had a situation in this country where people were standing up for their rights, and 3 were gunned down by members of the Guyana Police Force. We know who pulled the trigger
Mm,
based on what is being discussed around the municipality,
certainly.
and we know what position such persons hold at this time.
Mhm, mhm.
Linden has Linden has always been the hotbed of the politics. Whenever Linden stands up, have situations where people treat people in such a
To
way.
kill people, Marvin, that sounds very decent what you're trying to
No,
do.
but generally to suppress people, and where the efforts at suppression failed, people are killed.
Mhm, mhm,
We had the recent situation with Fujine, also known as Johnson,
mhm.
who was coming home in the midst of a protest and who was gunned down by members of the Guyana police force. We had the situation of the young who the police said they were going to arrest and that they were in full uniform and in a marked police vehicle. And we saw a black minibus, we saw a policeman, not well, presumably a policeman, not in uniform, pistol and going after the young man. The end result is that he was killed. Can Linden, with a collective conscience, embrace the People's Progressive Party after it has murdered the sons of Linden
Um,
over the
you
years?
know, it is important to note what the People's Progressive Party term as development and as their excitement of years. But I think more than that, what people recognize is that what associates the People's Progressive Party, and that is a point that was made earlier this year, as we had, especially earlier last month, as we commemorated the Sun Chapman 6th of July and we celebrated the 18th of July incident.
Mhm.
And what we recognize, even as we look at the 8th and the 9th of April situation that occurred with Kian Fojane and Ronaldo Peters, is that the only time there is an association of red and black in this town is when it is associated with murder. So we see the red and black done in the streets in Linden, but
Mhm,
I think the
mhm.
People's Progressive Party must know for the past month, Linden have used red and black to commemorate the murders of those young men. So it is not one where people are not conscious about what the People's Progressive would have done. More than that, what is recognized in the treatment of Lindeners, especially those situations that resulted in the deaths of uh, our 3 martyrs, Alan Lewis, Shemrai Boy, and Ron Somerset, in itself is etched in the minds of Lindeners and have never and will not be forgotten. But you made the point about Ronaldo Peters and Kian Fojane.
Yes.
It is not that police come to suppress Marvin. There is nowhere else in this country the Guyana police force turns up with live ammunition. And at the end of any intervention, people wind up dead. That's
Yeah.
not a suppression intervention. That's a come to shoot to kill situation that Linden always encounters. We had similar to that in the month of April in West Dem,
Yes.
where people took to the streets and no one lose their life or even got shot, Marvin. And here it is, a young man in Kian Fojane, unarmed, going home from a hard day's work in Georgetown. Yesterday, the 9th of August, marked 4 months since the 9th of April, he died. And to date, there is no justice, even though that was promised by the president of the Watuka Club that the RSS will come to do an independent investigation. That's finished. The report has been submitted to the DPP, and to date, no announcement on that outcome of that matter. So Linden is not unaware of not only the 6th of July, the 18th of July, the 8th and 9th of April. Linden is aware that its sons and daughters continue to be murdered. And the only time the red and black is present is to commemorate those incidents and not necessarily a political movement. We're not unaware. So that color that we are seeing now is a reminder of those outcomes that we've commemorated only recently with those murders.
We've had situations, and our viewers are aware acutely of these situations. We have had a man, first of all, somebody was killed in Agricola. A relative of that person, and this is not an allegation, this is a statement of fact borne out by video footage, came out with an assault rifle, an automatic assault rifle, who the experts say is an AR type rifle, discharged live ammunition at a house in which people were present. And this man was charged with unlawful possession of firearm and ammunition. In another case, a man drew a firearm in a confrontation with a woman and used it to hit her. And he was charged with using a firearm, drawing a firearm with intent. Intent, I suppose, to commit murder. And even before that, we had a situation in West Demar that you alluded to, where persons were arrested and charged with terrorism. In fact, persons had to resort to the High Court to get bail for their relatives, and some, by the way, viewers, are still on remand, on remand for terrorism. And here's a man running through a village street, shooting up at a building with an automatic assault rifle, and he's charged for unlawful possession of a firearm and ammunition. These unequal treatment of people, it is glaring, and Linden suffers the brunt of that inequality.
Well, you know, family, friends, and favorites, a term coined within the APNU's movement to power, identified clearly for Guyanese just how privileged you must to be able to get the equitable distribution of the resources and treatment in this society. You know, as I said before, even the shoot to kill approach that is taken in Linden when the police comes on site is not demonstrated anywhere else. But in itself, what you see is a reflection of the deterioration of our institutions. And I can come to the Guyana Police Force. When you see this sort of conduct of lawlessness, it demonstrates the sort of weakness at the institutional level, and it goes straight to the core of good governance, that the People's Progressive Party doesn't allow these institutions to work, doesn't allow them to be professional. And in that deterioration of the structure, what we have along the society is a rotten, lawless culture where people can take their guns out and shoot into the streets and take their guns out and beat women and behave as though they can conduct themselves anyhow because
With
of
impunity.
because those institutions are so weakened that we have even some of the senior officers in them are so compromised, sanctioned, involved in narco trafficking allegedly, even
Well, not allegedly, but that is what the American
well, you know,
authorities
Marvin,
said.
just the fact that we can have this conversation is an indictment on the government, the Guyana Police Force, and the fact that good governance doesn't exist in these institutions. So that type of lawlessness that you're speaking about, that type of behavior where people believe that they can act with such impunity, as you said,
is one where the People's Progressive Party and we can see in the period of the APNU, over the period of the coalition, there was a transformation in the behavior, conduct, and ethics, not only in the police force, that resulted in the outcome of law and order, that we saw a decline in those serious crime and even drug trafficking that made Guyana once known as a narco state and is now returning to that sort of name. So, Mervyn, I think, unless we can see a return of an APNU government that can bring back pride and appreciation to the professional approach to institutions like the Guyana Police Force and ensure that law and order is one where this society can see that part of any government is to provide a safe and healthy environment for every Guyanese to want to live.
Let's talk about the call to rally this afternoon. It's August 10th. There is a massive rally in the making. What are the issues that will draw people to this rally? How are people feeling about the injustices meted out to Linden as a municipality?
I think,
The rallying call.
listen, this is one where I always say to people, we don't have your aisle money. We don't have your aisle money to show off on you. We don't have your aisle money to try to come and create an optical illusion for you. So we, outside of the lights, cameras, action, and the knives, this rally today is so that you can come for two things. That the APNU is present in Linden. And the second thing is they have a message for you. And that is the only thing I believe matters in this election. Those who can present themselves and demonstrate that they are here to give you right, proper, strong representation as the municipality over the past 2 years coming out of local government elections have demonstrated to do. And what the APNU pursuing this 2nd of September government will do, which is to give you right, proper, strong representation. In that is in the message of a people-centered government that will allow every single Guyanese to appreciate where in this, the most richest economy of the world, that they will fit into the national agenda of development. And I think that is really what this rally is about today. And the rallying cry of Guyanese who over the past 5 years have endured enough hardship and suffering in this richest economy that is with inflated number of people who cannot even see outside of cost of living and cannot see outside of abject poverty, even though we are doing so well. So the message today is to say how a people-centered government will ensure our public servants are given the sort of menu of appetizer to get them out of that sort of state of looking for it, and that eat a food culture that the People's Progressive Party have left most Guyanese behind.
This rally brings hope, not just to Linden, but to all of Guyana. The APNU rallying cry to the people of this country is that we will put you first. We will put you first in every aspect of development. We will put you first in every one of our policies. In terms of our public sector, you will receive increased emoluments in the first year, 35%.
Bottom line.
You will have at your disposal more money in your pocket because the income tax threshold will move from $130,000 to $400,000. You will have available to you some benefits that
In housing, in duty.
in duties, in taxes, in
Exactly.
waivers that will put more money in your pocket. So it's about
But Marvin, what people might listen to us saying, and all that you are saying, the APNU went through an aggregated approach to get that from the citizenry. The PVP and others have not. But what most persons will not understand is they hear it from the APNU, they've seen others try to compete, but we are the only one of showing how we intend to pay for these things, Marvin.
and essentially when you look at what the numbers tell you, 42 cents from every dollar that goes
It's,
into public infrastructure is stolen.
it's wasted.
But I,
Wasted.
but I don't know, it's wasted because I think they put it to good use. We first have to ask who from the executive
Hmm.
owns a house in
Hmm.
Dubai?
Hmm.
Who from the executive transported workers from Guyana to remodel that house in Dubai? Who from the executive owns a hotel in Brazil? Who from the executive has a house in Pickering, Ontario, Canada?
We saw the housing CEO. We see what's going on in the housing ministry.
Precisely. So, what I'm saying is that you can see where the
It's
corruption
going,
money is going. And Aubrey Compton Norton pledges to cut corruption.
which saves, according to the IMF, billions of
Billions,
dollars,
hundreds of billions.
which moves us first. Because you see, when you take the PPP approach to how they will fund their manifesto, it is going the same direction, which is banking on the island gas only, which the APNU will ensure that we put prudent spending in place for that. But we also know that where you can find savings will also add more money to the pockets of Guyanese. And this is why we can boldly make those claims of the promises that we are giving to public servants and so many
Those are
others.
not mere yours, those are commitments.
Certainly that
Those are
direction.
commitments. And I tell
Certainly.
you this, when Norton cuts corruption and makes available an additional 42% of what is available from the
But
current budget,
Marvin, I think
we're
was
talking about real developmental
because
money.
many people have not fully comprehended and appreciated the amount of corruption and just how much is taken out of the economy from corruption. And if cut, we can able to supplement so much more in terms of development and spending in
And
this
that is
country.
only one aspect. The other aspect is in how you manage your economy. The Brazilian authorities found 15 billion United States dollars worth of raw solid gold
Mhm,
in
mhm,
their territory,
mhm.
widely believed to be gold originating from Guyana. 15 billion
Yeah.
United States dollars worth of gold. That is more than you're getting from oil.
Marvin, like
So
we
if you harness that money and you put it in real development in the people-centered approach to development, think about what Guyana will become under new
So
APNU
we have
government.
just spent a couple minutes, not giving as you said promises, but demonstrating how we can ensure these commitments are met. No one else is doing that. We have shown that not only by spending, but we're on savings, we can ensure we get enough to give more. Not only on proper management of an island gas and our natural resource fund, but ensuring prudent spending will allow more to be given. But there are many other areas that the APNU government, whether it's even the LCDS and remodeling that, because a percentage of that comes to national spending for our Amerindian brothers and sisters. And we know even that is not being done or managed properly. So those are areas of where we will have the money to spend. But what are we spending on, Marvin? And that is be very important. We just highlight a few things in the public
Right.
sector.
And there is, of course, management of your other sectors. At the moment, according to the numbers available to me,
Mhm,
91% of the revenues flowing into our national coffers come from oil and gas.
mhm, mhm,
Just a mere 9% coming from the other sectors, which
mhm.
includes gold.
Exactly.
And if gold is being smuggled to the extent that we believe it is, then imagine what the savings will be, and imagine what the other
Goes
sectors
back into Guyanese pockets.
precisely. Now, so spending has got to be going towards the development of the agricultural sector to
Mhm.
put more food on the table and alleviate poverty,
Cost of
as
living.
well as reducing the high cost of living to
Mhm.
manageable levels. So Aubrey Norton has a plan. The
But,
APNU has a team to execute that plan
but,
to the
what,
benefit of our
but
people.
what I want to say to Marvin, with reference to you made mention about agriculture, and those are the sectors in neglect should have in the resources to improve them. Cost of living is directly related to this government's poor management of the agriculture sector, and ensuring that investment goes into that to ensure that towns like Linden must be able, as we are saying on the campaign and the APNU is saying, be able to produce at least 40 to 30% of the food consumed. And once that is done with three of the four most important towns of Linden, Lethem, and Bartica, you will be able to see food prices nationally coming down because these towns are consuming foods that they're not producing, but they have the ability to produce once government puts the sort of investment. I'll give you this, Marvin. Region 10 is one of the only region without an agricultural regional budget. So there is a budget for education, works, health, and administration. And whereas you have in region 6, 3, 2, and 4 a budget for agriculture, there is no such budget in region 10. And we know that the APNU government had started this 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and under an Aubrey Compton Norton government. As in the negotiations of the 21st of August, he indicated this to the PVP government while we were negotiating with them. Communities such as West Watuka must be invested in, I'm certain, come 2nd of September, not only to ensure Linden adds to the ensuring of food security and bringing down the issue of cost of living by food prices, but Linden will see West Watuka and other communities being able to produce food to take care of that 40% consumption that we have.
Do not abandon the soil for the oil. You may regret it. I believe that's the message coming out of what you're saying. I believe that's the message coming out from an Aubrey, Compton, Norton, and the APNU plan
Mm,
for the development of this country. Sharma, you have been regional chairman.
mm.
You are now mayor of the municipality, the town of Lethem. I beg your pardon, my mind
Linden,
is in Lethem,
Linden.
Linden. See that? Mine is all over the place where development will take place under this new APNU government. You are now a national candidate once again.
Mm.
Tell us of your projected role. What do you anticipate you would be able to contribute to this massive developmental agenda that puts people first and in the center of everything that we do?
You know, I'm glad you built on the experience that we come in with. I came into the APNU first PNC as a very young individual. We were given the opportunity for leadership role in 2011 in the APNU. I'm glad that the APNU recognized the value in young people and giving them the opportunity to grow, which we have over the years grew to appreciate not only the state of Region 10, but at the municipality Linden as a national recognized individual and recognizing representation for Linden and Region 10. It is not how to fit Linden into the national agenda. It is us fitting Linden into the national agenda. And I think the APNU have given, as I mentioned, as a young man myself, the opportunity at chairman, at municipality to be able to demonstrate that we can do that. And that is where I find the interest to want to not only be a part of the APNU, but to drive that agenda that the APNU is promoting and pushing of how we fit Linden into that national agenda. And in fitting Linden into that national agenda, Marvin, we just spoke of importance of Linden to the national
Oh
agenda.
yes, oh
And
yes.
I believe there is where the type of representation of an individual like myself, as we have demonstrated before, as a candidate and heading towards ensuring we have an APNU government and be able to be part of that government, is to see how not only Linden fits into the national agenda, but ensuring once in that agenda, we get to put forward a national development that involves every single Guyanese to promote that which is a people-centered approach to the development. And I think, you know, it is not a glassy talk, Marvin. It is things like you said, we've been doing this from the point of regional chairman. We are
Yep.
doing this at this point at the
Mhm.
municipality. And with the opportunity given come the 1st of September, we will continue to do this under an Aubrey Compton Norton administration.
Talk to our viewers as we wind down. Sharma Rahim Solomon, Mayor of the Municipality of Linden and former regional chairman of Region 10. What are your expectations of the rally scheduled to start in a few hours?
Listen, we are going to have fun. Linden people are some of the most animated when it comes to the politics, but I can tell you that animation represents a level of seriousness behind it. We are not labeled Linden. I always say Linden more than the heart of Guyana. Linden is not a place, it's a person. Just think of the name, you know. And in that,
I love that.
and in that, appreciate just how dear that we value our politics. We take very serious the issues of what the issues are being discussed. So I can tell you, coming out of this rally this afternoon, not only the attendance, but the attention to what is being said will be one where Linden and Lindeners are going to ensure that they not only come this evening for that, but what is said, they will take further to propagate so that the people-centered message can get to every single one.
You are a leader in this whole Region 10 campaign structure. You are a leader in your own right outside of the politics of which you're a part.
Mm.
What do you see in your projections for the outcome of elections 2025 in the town of Linden and in Region 10 as a whole?
But
We got this sewed up, but we don't know how well sewed up yet until you tell us.
listen, let me say this. In 2023, we had a matter of local government, and this is the good thing about politics in Linden and the energy of politics in Linden. In 2023, we had where persons start the red wave was here to stay. We have demonstrated that what the PPP is good at is putting forward a good optical illusion. In Linden, what you have is heavy intimidation and an intent to buy people out. But that in 2023 showed that it did not work, even with the crossovers that they got. And many persons cross over for different reasons in
I
2023.
particularly like how you slowly drag that word out.
We can call the names in 2023. You know, we had persons from the AFC in the past member of parliament in Odwin Rutherford, and a couple of persons in 2023 in the local government went over. But I tell you this, Mervyn, we neutralize and nullify that. And I'm certain now would be no different. As Linden don't take lightly those who are not sincere and consistent in their position and are not sound in the ideology and philosophy of the things that they represent. So that sort of behavior is not going to take Linden away from understanding that what we have this afternoon is a message where people can appreciate. And we had the experience of seeing the optical illusion that doesn't distract people from coming to appreciate that message.
But rather remind people of the tragedies brought by the red wave, as you call it, to the hearts and minds of people of Linden and to the belly of the mothers of young people in this municipality. It brings back memories of the execution of our young men in the streets, standing up and struggling for their rights and the rights of others. Sham Raheem Solomon, thank you very much for joining us here on Nation Watch. We are coming to you live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Palm Tree Cinema Square in Wisma, right next to the Demerara River, in the heart of the municipality of Linden, named after a great, visionary, heroic, iconic leader, Linden Forbes Sampson Burnham, who shaped the institution that will be taking government after September 1, 2025, led by the next president of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, Aubrey Compton Norton. Come out and join our rally this evening. In fact, in the next few hours, join our rally. Come out and join our rally here outside the Palm Tree Cinema and rally with the APNU for a better Guyana, for shared prosperity for all Guyanese, which will flow from a people-centered development strategy led by a government that truly cares. Until we meet again, God bless.